Welcome back, everyone. Wrapping up a huge week. We're happy to have Team Solomid's Odd One and Reginald join us at the analyst desk. Gentlemen, congratulations on the 4-0 Super Week. Reginald's 5-1 with the team with coming back now, and you kind of get to walk off into the sunset after these wins. I got to ask, you know, after 5 months coming back to produce results like this, how does it feel?
I mean, it doesn't. They were doing really well before I played, so it just felt normal because like I'm a part of the team too. I'm the coach, and when they do well, I feel like we're doing well. So it just feels normal to me.
All right, well, the story of this particular game obviously started off with the bottom lane. They got their own kill, and then you went down there and just kind of made things even worse for Zuna and crew. Can you go over, you know, the things that went into your ganks down bottom, how they were coordinated?
So early on in the game, we figured that they had to gank bottom or they'd probably lose. Like, obviously, you don't expect your lane to get a free kill randomly, but as soon as I saw that kill, I was like, yeah, like if Eve doesn't gank bottom, they automatically lose this game. And like we just camped that lane over and over. And since they didn't respond, like it just became too much because it's really hard to gank Gragas or LeBlanc. They both just run away. And then top lane, no one's gonna go there. So we basically won the game off that.
So you had good reasons to gank down bottom, and they turned out and you got kills. But speaking of Gragas, you know, Reggie in the mid lane, he was losing in CS. Every single time that I've ever jungled with Reggie, if I don't gank his lane, he calls me a noob. He starts telling me I'm doing everything wrong, even if I get a kill somewhere else. Was he yelling at you during the game? Save me mid, help, kill ManCloud.
It used to be more like that last season, but this season he doesn't do that as much. I guess he trusts us more, but usually it's like, I'm being camped, I need help, or like, why aren't you helping me on one or something like that. But he's been really good this season, so it hasn't been like that. Otherwise, we'd probably get demoralized, but he's played really well these last 2 weeks. It's pretty good.
All right, well, let's get that replay up on your screen then. This is one of the ganks down bottom that you do coordinate with X Special. Walk us through this one, Odd One.
Yeah, they have a huge wave. We knew they had to go up for the CS, because if they don't push that wave, they're going to die. And then X Special lands a stun on him, which allows me to land my stun on him, and then like he just gets deleted. But yeah, like when the wave's pushing up like that, they either lose all 7 CS or they just, yeah, they get ganked like that against Pantheon. So at that spot, like they were pretty screwed.
Is that something that, you know, you're in top doing golems and you're like, all right, the waves are going to be in this position, or is that something that kind of happens in the moment for you guys?
Yeah, I was usually trying to stay near bottom the entire time because I figured something like that would eventually happen. Because if they don't ever try to push out, they just get dove under their tower. So like the waves slowly started pushing out because they hit their tower and then went back. And then once that happens, they're pretty much done unless Eve counter ganks.
And Reginald, Gragas has been big pickups for you coming in here. Why the fallback to him? Is it just everything you needed to carry the team? Easy stuff?
Well, mainly because all the top tier champions are banned, like Lulu and I think Cassidy. So Gragas is probably the second tier champions after that. And then ManCloud first picked LeBlanc because I've been playing LeBlanc a lot. Like it's my most played champion this season. So he first picked LeBlanc, so I would fall back onto Gragas, which is like one of my 3rd or 4th picks. And I guess I've just been doing pretty well with them, so I'm pretty happy about that.
So you having you know, played last season with these guys, how is it playing with them now this season? How much have they improved, the other 4 guys around you coming back into the team? Is it very noticeable?
Yeah, it's definitely very noticeable. Before, as a mid laner, I would play as a mid laner to engage, but like in all the metas, mid laner is a lot better to play as a caster that stays back and casts spells. But before, I was engaging for TSM, so like on a caster, I would always like have to engage the fight, and it wouldn't give us a good position. But then Darius and Oddone really stepped up in their ability to engage, so like our team just got a lot better overall. And then just playing on the team is much easier. I feel like I just have to worry about my own play, and if I just win my lane and everyone else does well, we win the game. So I don't really lose my lane.
All right, next one we're going to look at, we're actually going to pull up another replay here as we get through the interview. 23 minutes in, you guys were able to head towards the Baron and really make it a tough situation. Talk us through this and what went down for you guys to even want to do this and just get more of a lead.
So I mean, we had a really huge lead already, so we knew that we can just force things. And Annie just jumped on him, flashed, and like we just like were running at them because we knew we had such a big gold lead. So I kind of threw my ult in the middle of a bunch of them because I just wanted to chunk them so we can just rush Baron. But what happened was a Pantheon ulted right there, and LeBlanc actually went for Ezreal and a one-shot of the Ezreal. And so we're like, crap, we can't do Baron anymore because we lost our AD carry. But then we were able to pick off LeBlanc. And right here, we didn't know who to attack, right? But then good thing Turtle was like, kill that one, kill that one. And then we were able to get that kill, so we were able to just kill enough people to go for Baron. And then that just closed out the game.
It's a good thing you got that one, because good Zhao play with the clone last night. Not so lucky on the Gragas barrel. You guys, however, getting the win and the victory there. So with this, you know, how with your practice, what did you focus on? Coming into, you said, you know, the team was playing well, you yourself was playing well, but for 5 months out of the game and to come back at an LCS level, what do you focus on when you're going through 16 hours of practice in a day to get back to that level?
So mainly what I do for the team is I focus on 2 things, picks and individual play. One of the big things we're struggling on before I came in was just really like, sometimes they would just pick really weak lanes, and that would just get us snowballed on. And basically all I did was just focus on myself, play a lot of solo queue, and focus on the mechanics. And then when I went in, we started losing because our pick order wasn't that great. So I just made sure that our team is always picking good champions. And when we are solid individually and we come in with good strategy, we're definitely going to win.
So looking forward, you guys, with this good performance in Super Week, you've actually secured yourself a playoff spot. Looking forward when Bjergsen returns, what are you guys going to be focusing on when he comes back?
Yeah, it's mostly just going to be getting back to form. Like, Bjergsen's been out of it. We're just going to have to focus on communication because we still want the top 2 spots that gets a bye, so we really want to get that. But, yeah, so with Reggie coaching us and Bjergsen back, I think we're going to be very, very strong for playoffs.
All right, gentlemen, congratulations on the win. Great Super Week, Reggie. Great job coming back. Best of luck as you ride off into the sunset. Hopefully we'll see you back again with Team Silverman. I know the fans want it. All right, everyone, we're going to throw it across the studio of freaking chat, but as we set it over, we want to help everyone at home as they toil to carefully craft their perfect Twitter responses. Today we asked you, what's your favorite NA LCS player's summoner name and why? And to inspire you, we asked the pros what summoner names are their favorites.
I really respect the players who use their real name as their tag. So Benny and Hai, I think that's pretty cool. That's just their name.
Rocket has some really fun names to pronounce, you know, Overpowered, Jankos, that kind of sort of aggressive sound.
My favorite tag in the NA LCS has to be Skara because he came from Scarred for Life, and I think that's something he'll never get away from.
I kind of like Reginald's name because I think it's funny. I think it's just clever just like to make up a random name that people can kind of just laugh at.
Bjergsen has the best name in NA.
I like Afromu's name a lot. His name's pretty cool.
Cutie Pie is really funny.
I'm a cutie pie.
I'm a cutie pie. When I first did not know him, I was just, okay, what a stupid name.
My brother's friend's name was Soul Fusion. My brother stole that name, and then I kind of stole that name.
Wiz Fusion's real name is Apollo. I think that's pretty sick. Apollo Price, like, jeez, you hear that name, like, damn, like, that guy's gonna go somewhere.
And then Balls.
And Afromu's going to get a chance to face Balls later today, but first, he's got a different test. It's Chronologic Gaming versus Team Coast. Now, Jat, one test of a great team is how well they handle setbacks. For CLG, they saw their 5-game run shut down by TSM in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, that was a fast loss, more unexpected, like faster than they expected, even if they were going to lose that game. And CLG, they made uncharacteristic tactical mistakes in that game. 3 times that game. They were defending a very low health turret and then let it die and lost a team fight afterwards. Also, Dexter had the debut of Jarvan in the NA LCS, which had been a go-to for him last year over in Europe, but it did not get going for him this time. Very unsuccessful.
Yeah, rough game for CLG that time around. Now, coming into Super Week, Coast and CLG both had the same record with 5 wins in 6 games, but Coast struggled so far this week, 0-3 with CLG 1-1.
Yeah, in a couple of games, Coast put up valiant fights, but teams this Super Week have had a lot of success camping top lane. And that has really set Coast back. You know, Zion Spartan has been a huge part of their victories, and the rest of his team really needs to either give him protection or make up for it if he's getting camped and killed over and over again in games.
And actually, the interview with him before, he said that, you know, I just got to play smarter. Like, they called the MIA, and I should have reacted better. So
yeah.
Maybe even
they
on
understand what's happening. You know, Coast has been a team that bounces around a fair bit, even all the way back to the spring split. They go on pretty big losing streaks, and oftentimes they can bounce back when you least expect it.
We'll see if they can do it here. Let's check out the starting lineups on the blue side. Counter Logic Gaming. Nien in the top lane, Dexter in the jungle, Link in mid, Doublelift on AD carry, and Afromu as support.
And on the red side, it is Coast. Zion Spartan in the top lane, or Nintendo Dex in the jungle, Shifter in mid, Wiz Fusion or Apollo Price on AD carry, and Daydreamin on support.
It's one of those guys where like you kind of wish they went back to their...
Why is his name not just Apollo Price?
That's a great name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apollo Price.
Did you know, and I know you know
kill.
this, did you know Jace's name when he was in production was Apollo? And then we changed it.
You just leaked sensitive information, freak.
Sensitive information?
What have you done?
The prior name?
Apollo Price.
It's a sick name.
Yeah, it is.
See if he can do it here. Coming up huge for these guys. So CLG, 1-1 in the week. They definitely had a fairly tough schedule coming in. Their one loss is to TSM, which is it's an understandable loss, all things considered. So
yeah, TSM beats everyone.
Yeah, they pretty much do.
It seems.
Yeah.
CLG had a kind of turnaround against TSM since the summer split. They 4-0'd them in the summer split of 2013, and I believe they're, would that make them 0-3 against TSM this year?
Since then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a rough start.
0-5 if you count the playoffs.
Exactly.
Nien definitely struggled a lot in that game yesterday. He fell a couple levels behind in the top lane. He can't let that happen again.
It's interesting, I like tracking Nien because when he first joined the team as an AD carry, he had been a mid laner for a little bit before that as well. And he said when he joined the team that he was going to like let the team make him the type of top laner they wanted. He was like, craft my play style, tell me the champion pool. Just I will be that dude for you. I'll learn it all fresh and new. It'll be fine. And he's been honestly playing very standard stuff for these guys overall.
Yeah, but he still kind of shows that willingness to go a little bit outside the box. He was the first one to play Rise in the top lane in the NA LCS. We haven't seen that since. It was a tough start for him, but then he went solid. And yeah, he will play whatever is needed. I would have to say he is the moldable thing on CLG right now. But when you're molding stuff with like Play-Doh, oftentimes it's not like as strong as you would want it to be. So he generally never really dominates people, but he'll stand tall.
He's like Zakish. He'll just kind of fit in the molds and do what he needs to do. Never like really hardens in. And I'm actually surprised though because Nien was so mechanically proficient on AD carries. He was probably the best AD carry in the Challenger scene up until when he joined up with Marn and had a good run there with those guys. But
he was one of the best AD carries in the LCS when he was with Marn as well.
Yeah, on a weak team and still showing his skill there. So we'll see how he does in the top lane. This time around against one of the premier top laners of Zion Spartan. Loves to fight. Jack spanned away from him. The Rise dropped away as well. Daydreamin not going to get the chance to play Annie here.
Rise banned.
Removed.
That's too bad.
Yep, I guess he has fallen again. Can't be picked. Kha'Zix removed from Dexter and Link here. Couple more choices to go. So top Lee Sin has been hit and miss for Zion Spartan. He hasn't gone back to Nasus since week 1. I kind of miss that guy. He's kind of fun to watch. Hits things really hard.
It is good. You have to be very specific in the times you pick him, though. If the other team has a lot of dashes away, it's generally not a good call. And there's been a lot of dashes lately.
So at least removed from Nintendo.
It's either LeBlanc or Lulu. Link's going to get one of them.
I feel like Lulu is a tier above LeBlanc.
Or you don't ban either, and then you pick what the other guys didn't pick. Uh-oh.
Okay. I mean, this is almost definitely Lulu first pick. Unless there's something I'm like forgetting. I mean, Kassadin's up, to be fair. Kassadin is up.
Lulu. I feel like that just... You get one little shield, and it's the entire combo of Kassadin late game. But who knows? Maybe CLG is scared off. That's not real.
What to think about. So Renekton and Shyvana, two of the aggressive, strong lane top laners, are still available here. Zion Spartan has actually been happy to play both of those because he likes to bully his lane early and make some moves off of that. The Lee Sin hover I kind of see. It's the only like carry top laner we've seen Zion be successful with in some time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works with Shyvana.
I mean, the only thing that might dissuade CLG from picking Lulu here is the fact that Link lost to it yesterday. But I still don't see them going shying away from that champion. Unless, unless there is the Sivir speed. They had lost to Sivir yesterday. That's their priority. So tier 1A for CLG is Sivir. 1B is Lulu.
That's where they go with this one. And honestly, yeah, with a lot of these bans being atypical bans, right? Jax, Rise, Kha'Zix, a lot of the heavy first pick champions are available right now. And Coast can pinch a lot of them. There's Apollo. Picked up there. Jace is now
people.
Yeah, sorry, I'll stop at that one. But this gives Lulu, Kassadin, Vi, another big one.
Yeah.
A lot of great options available for Coast here if they want them. And they're taking their time. I mean, CLG took the full minute to say, you know what, Sivir is more important than everything else there. I think Lee Sin is now the go-to hover before they pick whatever team they're actually going for. We'll see. Maybe Zion does grab the early Lee Sin.
Seems
but
like it. There's just too much on the board for that. Yeah.
Okay.
So the champions you had previously mentioned, we listed about 10 or so. They pick from that pool. They really just get to choose what type of team composition they're going with now. Especially with the Vi picked here, they're trying to guarantee at least some form of initiation no matter how mobile CLG makes themselves.
It's going to be fun. I mean, Team Coast now, we've seen Nintendude.
Elise and Lulu.
Elise banned.
Damn.
So no.
Wrong.
You lose the bet.
I lose
get
a point.
another hat.
I definitely lose a point for that one.
I am acquiring hats today. It's like I'm playing TF2. Zion Spartan's going to be in a nice, happy lane bully position, almost no matter what Nian throws against him. Nintendo, as I was saying, really good Vi games so far. He's had some great ganks. Lulu does come through. Shyvana is going to be the matchup there in the top lane. These guys mirroring each other's picks for the most part. Now Coast to pick their bottom half of the map. See what they grab.
Probably a support and AD carry because they love to wait until the very last pick to let Shifter do his thing. But at the same time, when we were talking with Alex Penn yesterday, he said that the majority of Shifter's champion pool are actually generalist mid lane picks nowadays that are kind of good against everything.
Ahri, Nidalee, Kassadin, all good choices for him. Ziggs we saw yesterday, I believe. Nearly won that game against XDG. Very close match by those guys. Couldn't quite pull it out though. Lucian the look here, and it is going to be Morgana as well for support.
Nice.
Now CLG.
Daydreamin
for the rest of their comp.
Trying to practice his skill shots a bit more. He's a very famous Blitzcrank player before he even entered the competitive scene. Blitzcrank and Thresh were his two go-tos. However, a lot of good Blitzcrank or Thresh players have had a very easy transition over to Morgana. Just helped them greatly.
Press Q, they're far away, but hits they do bad things.
Yeah. Also,
they're
they're stuck there for 3 seconds.
I love how in Lucian's splash art, he's like exploding a ghoul's head in the background. You guys haven't noticed that? It's a good shot. Wasn't even looking. Skillful stuff by these guys. CLG now the last two picks likely to be support and jungle. So we've seen team switch to support Lulu. There's a chance. They're taking their time with all these choices. Honestly, their team so good at engaging battles. Sivir to run them all in, take the zoo, send them forward. Lulu to keep that one going as well. A little bit of a low damage team.
Yeah.
Just on the slight edge of low damage, but
a lot of
and
AoE.
Leona.
But a lot of AoE and a lot of speed, which I think will make up for it overall for CLG. They are opting into that Leona versus Morgana matchup, so they have to be very careful with the way they initiate. Hopefully Coast is standing close together so that if Aphromoo lands Zenith Blade, he can land the stun on the other target who is not black shielded. Aphromu's Leona has been very impressive as well. And now we get to see Shifter's pick.
So there is some hard engage. Nidalee a little bit weaker in this kind of context because you can catch up to her and take her down. Ziggs really good as a disengaged, counter-engaged guy. Kassadin...
Most of Coast wins have came with Shifter on Nidalee as well.
That's true, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember CLG lost a good number of games last season to forgetting to pick enough engage against poke teams. Had a really rough time of it. So Ahri going to come back through here for Shifter. Be able to dance around the battles and have some decent pressure there against League, especially with Nintendude ganks. I feel like that is a possibility for Coast to win mid lane.
Camp Shifter's lane. Get him going. It's tricky, though, against a mid lane Lulu to try and have overall map pressure.
Yeah.
GSM managed it yesterday, actually, because Link was forced to roam to other lanes.
Yeah.
Therefore, Reggie was able to get some of the pressure back. That's going to require Zion Spartan to do a number onto Nian in the top lane if they want something similar to happen. But those are the teams.
All right, the teams are locked in, guys. CLG in blue, Coast in red. Last game of the week for Coast. We just saw TSM finish their week 4-0. Coast trying to avoid an 0-4 and keep themselves in the playoff race.
Yeah, and
they're
CLG
right on the cusp.
has 2 games today as well. They're only 1-1 so far in Super Week, even though they've been very, very hot aside from their game they had yesterday.
Yeah, very strong team. Only 2 losses since Dexter joined the team. See what happens with this one. Guys, we've asked you who's going to win. As the teams load up, let's take a look at the voting on LoL Esports. 84% think that CLG will pick up the win. Certainly they are the favorites here, but they're only, what, 2 positions above in the standings right now.
Yeah, and if we were looking at these teams' records before Super Week started, even though all the hype was about CLG, in their previous 6 games before Super Week, they were both 5-1.
Yeah.
So both of these teams were definitely trending upwards. It's just been a disastrous Super Week for Coast. And even though Super Week isn't done, just to kind of put this in a bit more perspective, there's still a possibility that both CLG and Coast could end this Super Week 1-3.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still actually very even teams, despite that incredibly lopsided vote.
We'll see what happens. The crowd excited to get into this game, and so are we. CLG in blue, Coast in red, and here we go. Doublelift happy to keep playing more supportive AD carry. Sivir this time around. Aphromoo gonna complete the engage combo. I mean, there are a lot of ways for CLG to start fights here. A lot of ways to pick a battle and to get around the map to make objectives happen.
To Summoner's Rift. Just a random aside, Dexter has a chance to be really fast this game.
Yeah.
If he has a Sivir ult, the Lulu move speed boost, his Eve W, I guess he's got just as much speed potential as Nian. Both those guys are going to be zooming.
There's 3 champions that press W and move fast on the CLG lineup.
One of them presses R and moves fast.
Yes. A lot of ways to move fast. After presses E and moves fast.
Nobody on Coast has a move fast button. They have a dash button. But
they have
no
4
move
dash
fast,
buttons.
No move fast buttons.
Nope. Daydreamin is just slow. He's actually the only guy who can't move very fast on this game at all. So he's going to be relying on Black Shield and positioning for
That means
himself.
he's going to have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Where he goes.
Daydreamin, he's got to be sharp this time around. It's going to be rough. We'll see how good his Black Shields are as well, how good his reflexes are. Shifter spamming the taunts, the tails spread apart right there. 9 of them.
How many of you just counted the tails? Because I did.
I just trusted the name of the
It's actually
champion.
9.
Good job, chat.
Yeah. Got to double check your stats here.
Get the one up on the screen. 9 of 9 tails. Nian Zion Spartan. Oh, he hits the E. Damage coming across. Angry Crocodile. Chase that guy down. He's going to spot this blue buff there, although I don't think Renekton can bully them off the buff, so.
No. It does give knowledge where it started, though.
Yes.
Which is pretty critical. So Nintendo Dex doesn't get counter-jungled by sneaky little Eves.
Ooh. Should be safe. These guys trying to kite around, and actually, Coast completely dodged all the ricochet damage, so that's well played.
Yeah.
The range is only so big. There's only 3 attacks.
Daydreamin also starting with his Tormented Soil to get Spell Thief's Edge procs off as quickly as possible, and the shove advantage is going to Coast.
All right, early lead with the Tremendous Soil in the queue. Doublelift and Aphromoo on the back foot here.
Ah, but they missed 1 CS.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
However, more gold to Coast, because caster minions are worth 14 versus the 15 gold that Daydreamin picked
It's no
up.
more gold because CLG got all 6 of them.
Yeah, but it's up a caster minion. Or maybe they're up a melee minion.
Oh,
I'm talking
I
about
see.
Spell Thieves.
Because of the Spell Thieves.
Yeah. Equal gold in the
Well,
bottom
I
lane.
guess
Level
they're
2
even
comes in
then.
first. Daydreamin does not have Black Shield. Takes some damage. Answers back for 5 with the auto attack. Link, though, wow, good charm shot.
Shifter incredibly potent with his skill shots on Ari, but that's a tough lane matchup for anyone against Lulu. Spell Shield on Doublelift, also able to eat some of those Dark Bindings. Taking advantage of the lock camera, seeing things coming towards him.
Mm-hmm. It's always fun to see if Sivir does go for Spell Shield at 2. So still no Boomerang Blade.
Yeah.
If you guys
Trying to
don't
conserve mana a little bit.
Yeah.
Boomerang Blade's very expensive.
If you guys don't realize, almost every pro does start Ricochet at level 1. It's better for the wave push, which is very important.
Yep.
In pro play to get level 2 first, which CLG did, and you saw them jump in for some damage there. Ricochet Sivir, keep that in mind. They do still max Q. Link, Glitterlands 1 point in every ability. Shifter went QE for his first few builds. I was like giving the info out.
No, it's actually very useful.
Underrated thing.
Yeah.
Skill
order. Because if you skill the wrong thing, you're going to have a really bad time. It's like, yeah, I max Spell Shield first on Sivir. I love blocking things.
I did used to put 2 points in it early. Just
Cooldown?
because cooldown and the fact that the mana jumped up pretty significantly from like 60 to 75, and it was like, I felt it was worth it. I don't know. I don't do it anymore. Killing with the minions, Doublelift and Aphromoo still the push lead, and actually a bit of a minion lead as well. Starting to see some
Double took
damage
a lot
come
of
back
harass right
down.
there.
Yeah.
They're very concerned with shoving the lane right now, and it's actually Kind of a tricky thing to do in the bottom lane as Sivir to keep your CS high while you're ricocheting down every wave. That's why Doublelift is ricocheting at the very start of the waves, so it's not messing up any of his last hits, and then he's cleaning up with his auto attacks. But you don't always have that luxury.
You don't always, but right now, it's working out for him. 28 minions. It's time for the third cannon wave to come through. I could remember how many minions would spawn by this point, but I didn't, so never mind.
Good work.
Doublelift doing a good job of last hitting, though. That's what I'm going to say. Link as well, actually, 26 now is Shifter. Nintendo making his first way out of the base. First recall gets a pink ward. Was at the left side river at 5 minutes. See if we can track how long that one lasts. He's looking for Link. Can Shifter find the charm? The lane is pushing in away from Link a little bit, but now pushing back down.
Link's using minion fire pretty well. Or just the minion line to block charms from coming through. It's been a very farm-heavy first 5 minutes as far as the junglers are concerned. No ganks have been plotted. I think a fair bit of that actually comes with Dexter getting spotted at level 1 by the Zion Spartan ward. Just gave the ganking advantage over to Coast, and Nintendox chose not to use it.
Dexter opened up with an early longsword, whereas Nintendo got some wards down. Dexter's just really trying to get the items out there, really trying to get the farm going. He's got a 9 minion lead, or I guess monster lead, over Nintendo. I mean, he gets level 6 first. That could be important. Doublelift still taking harass. Good damage coming through. Daydreamin doing a very good job of getting his gold stacks going.
Yeah, 164 gold already out. That's pretty much the entirety of Coast's slight gold edge in the game.
Top lane going pretty well for Zion Spartan as well. 11 minions for him. Ooh, wow. That one's hard to spell shield, actually. That's really good reflexes by Doublelift to block the Lucian Q.
Dexter hoping that someone gets aggressive, but he is just there to steal experience. Good level 6.
I'm not sure if he revealed himself to get spotted by that trinket ward. They pinged it, so I think they actually know. Okay.
I don't know if he meant to get spotted.
Nintendo's seen by a ward. Nien knows what's happening. He does have Dragon Form. Goes in towards Nintendo. Just putting the damage down. Nintendo wants to leave this one away. No minions are left there. Nien blocks the gank by killing minions and leaving the turret up.
Nice move by Nien. I don't actually know the danger he was actually under there, but there's the jump on. And notice how Daydreamin wasn't close enough to Wiz Fusion there to get hit by the Afro stun afterwards. But Shifter now coming in for the level 6 roam gank.
They know he's there.
Yeah, Link called MIA more so than anything. And he's also not following all the way through because he's worried about getting caught. They just knew they were out of wards and they knew that he vanished. So communication is key. Pink ward just got placed down to prevent that from happening again.
Well played, CLG. Keep themselves alive. 300 gold lead right now for Coast. Junglers now both recalled again. Now Dexter gets his wards, and Nintendo buys his longsword. So these guys actually mirroring their builds, just getting them in different orders. Maxing Q, of course, on Shifter. Standard fare. Got to get the wave clear going through. Level 6 for the mids. Blue buff respawning. And a pink ward actually watching the rotation in. CLG defensive with that ward. Got to make sure no one steals.
I think this game's really going to start as soon as Nintendox hits 6 and starts some of his Vi ganks. The CLG games lately have been very rotation heavy. They've been doing a lot of movement. Link has generally made things happen by roaming around on mid lane. Oftentimes he's on Lulu. They've been using Sivir ult speed and lane shove to create those advantages. But in this game, the laning from Coast has actually been very strong. And it's keeping Coast pushed back to their turrets, at least in the early game. You know, Nien is getting outlaned fairly heavily by Zion Spartan.
Yeah.
Which is mostly to be expected, but it's still worth noting because it's about 20 CS. Coast is able to safely invade jungle to get rid of pink wards. You know, Coast is actually the ones with the lane advantages, therefore they are the ones that have freedom to make map movements. And CLG is actually pushed into more of a reactive style as of right now, which is the style CLG got trapped into during most of their struggles.
That's true.
When they've been ahead and making their resurgence, it's because they have been getting the advantage in lanes, and they've been the ones able to make movements.
Blue buff went to the red buff of Nintendo. Shifter doesn't have his blue buff this time around. So right now, with the blue buff going the wrong way, 71 to 64 in minions. I want to see if Shifter gets punished much for this. The unfortunate red buff steal by Nintendo.
That could really lose them a lot of
He didn't go Chalice.
Potency. Exactly.
He's going DFG, so low mana.
He was needing that blue buff. His lane shove is going to be greatly diminished because of that. And that could absolutely open up some roaming opportunities for Link.
We'll see what happens.
Tough break.
Definitely. Tough. Chalice and an Amp Tome for Link. So similar AP actually to Shifter. Just has the mana regen edge and some magic resist. Nintendo, in the face of a ward, going to start up this dragon. Dexter and Link on the way over.
Bad idea.
They should know about this. Yeah, Nintendo backs off. And try again. If you don't succeed at first, keep punching dragons.
This is
the Vi way.
Really interesting. Nintendo is going to be quite low for this. Dexter could even pull off a solo on Nintendo Dex. They're not showing by rotating over, but he's coming now.
There's the fight. Assault and Battery goes through, just goes down. Dexter with a solo kill, double buffs. Here's the fight in the bottom lane. Daydreamin not in a good spot, puts the binding down onto Afromu. Can he get the damage across? Dragon goes down for CLG. Wiz Fusion still trying to fight. Good spell shield. They've got to be careful. Dexter almost ran. Nice flash.
Man.
Barrier comes out. Will they get the kill anyway? He's going to survive.
So now that's the rotation by CLG. It's all started, but that's because Nintendo Dex tried to make a Dragon play. This push now bottom lane. Link going hard.
He gets the Ignite down, picks up the kill on a Daydreamin 1 versus 1. Nice play.
I really have to talk about what happened at the Dragon Pit, though. Nintendo Dex really underestimated the Eve. They did not expect that Dragon to be warded, and basically, when Nintendo started the Dragon the first time, CLG's lanes didn't respond like they were going to help Dragon. So therefore, he thought they didn't have vision of it. The fight happened afterwards, though, as well. Pretty big plays coming in from CLG. Very close fight right there. Doublelift actually blocking for Afromu and popping his barrier early. But then it's just the roam coming down from CLG. Because they still had a jungler, they were able to get a lot of extra pressure down onto this. And because they'd gotten low enough, Link using that super move speed to flashing it on top of Daydreamin. Black Shield was a little late there. I think lance damage came through, and then the Ignite is what finished it.
Yeah,
might have
still been cooldown. Yeah, it's got a really long rank 1 CD, and most Morgana's max Q in lane, so there's a longer cooldown there. Zion Spartan still trying to beat up his opponent, actually 79 to 104 now. Having a pretty good performance still in this lane, but Dexter is around. No ulti, but double buffs here for the Evelyn. Got the refresh off the kill on Nintendo.
He's pretty strong at this point in the game.
There's a jump in. It's going to be the dash away from Shifter. He will survive trading ults. And there's a jump in on the Zion Spartan trying to run away. Does have ulti, does have flash. Can he stay and survive this fight? Dexter won't chase down. Ulti trade.
But I think they're going to stay.
Yeah.
They didn't want to fight him with all of his rage while his ultimate is ticking, but they might stick around afterwards, especially once they get the support of Link. He just gave the on the way ping.
He's roamed up. Nintendo is around. Shifter went back to base. Spots the ward, knows that Link is there. And on the one side, Zion Spartan, not a lot of places to go. Nintendo gets spotted on his way around. They're pulling up Shifter. Will he be there in time,
but
though?
They know Shifter has no ultimate here. So it is chancy. They give the question mark. I feel like they should back away on this because it's too dangerous.
They communicated a lot with Smart Pings there.
Hey, Smart Ping is the way of the future.
Yeah, even with a highly coordinated team like CLG.
It helps us. They're telling us what they're thinking.
Thank you, guys.
They'll be like, I'm on the way, guys.
They're like, hey, I think Link's going top right now.
In all seriousness, no. In all seriousness, no. If you say, hey guys, I'm on the way, they'll be like, where are you coming? It's like, oh, I pinged it for you. I don't have to explain that I'm coming into that brush now.
That is really useful.
Yeah, it can actually be an enhancement over top of your voice communication.
Anytime I'm playing a pre-made and someone's like, go, 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 I just like engage my lane and it's a jungler going top or something.
If you guys use Smart Ping, you wouldn't have that problem.
I know. Tell it to my friends. Shifter, pink ward down, gonna sweep this away. Link will just wait patiently, then kill the ward himself. Cue the wall! Yeah! Well, that's warded. Okay, Nintendo gonna grab the red buff, takes it away pretty successfully. That's fine. Dexter, they're looking towards the bottom side of the map. A lot of pink wards, though, are gonna spot the fact that he's around. But Doublelift is here to try to defend.
He wants that pink ward.
Oh! Spell shield and the trinket ward to get the sweep. Nicely played.
Guess it works.
Yeah.
A lot of turret pressure coming from CLG now as well. All of this really coming off of Nintendo, though. Trying that ill-fated dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Now CLG roaming to push mid. Everything really happening off that moment.
Here we go for the mid lane. Spell shield not going to come up in time. Double taking a whole bunch of damage. In comes the engage. Lulu pops down. Nintendo diving in hard, but the spell shield's going to block that. The Ignite still taking Nintendo. Running away. The fight is a wash, 0 for 0.
Yeah, Doublelift. Bit of a mistake, I'd have to say, right there. But the team has enough shields to keep him alive. Very critical that he could spell shield that assault and batter at the end. The push probably going to continue here for CLG as there's not many coast people directly defending it. Take another look at this one. A little bit too close. The solar flare actually missed by Afromu, so a couple misplays by CLG here. But because Doublelift had his spell shield back up, they were able to survive. So kind of dodging a bolt there.
Definitely dodged the Vi. That was important. Zion Spartan, Nian still in the battle. 36 minions now. even with Zion, I guess both players have gotten a gank against them now. Both have been avoided successfully by the enemy player.
Yeah.
But still a very good start. Zion actually going for a tanky build. He's rushed a Spectre's Cowl, Chain Vest there as well. So
true.
Tank Renekton. Not what I was expecting, but I know you talk about this a lot with Coast. Coast typically runs one tank. Not the case this time.
It has been an issue that has gotten Nintendo killed oftentimes in the late game. Nintendo is a jungler who actually is pretty prone to falling behind because he gives so much farm to his solo lanes. And then B, he's doubly screwed because he is often the only tank and the one person who can go in. So there's a chance they have done some preparation this game and saying, all right, Zion, we're going to try it with a full tank line. Also, Zion could have recognized that CLG is running a fairly low damage team. And if he actually is to tank up enough on Renekton, he could become pretty damn near unkillable, which is looking like his plan right now.
That'd be a good thing. Dominus plus the Sunfire Cape will do 143 damage per second late game. It's a pretty good number, to be completely honest. Zion is going to get his turret here. 250 gold to him for winning the lane. 32 minions still in the lead. Just makes his way out. I mean, Zion really just directly winning the 1v1. Nian still chasing, though.
I think Zion could have turned that one, but he didn't have complete eyes on Eve, and also the dragon is coming up soon. This is what it's really all about right now.
A little bit of damage on Afro with a jump in towards Daydreamin, waiting for the Black Shield to break out. The slow does come in. Flashing away, trying to get out of this one. They're going to. The Q from Doublelift. Huge damage. He's going to keep going. Spell Shield's on. Solar Flare from Afro Moo. Wiz Fusion's going to flash. He's going to go down anyway. 2 for 0. Nice one, CLG.
We talked about all the people on CLG just having more speed than those people on Coast, and that Daydreamin would have to be very careful with his positioning that game. Well, with no turret down and being near the Dragon Pit, since they didn't have the numbers advantage, they just got ran down. That was CLG seeing them somewhere and saying, yeah, we can catch you. They went for it. Now Nintendo's in the same pickle.
Little Lance. Nice, good dodge. But here comes the team there. They're trying to stop 2 versus 3 or 4 now at Dragon. Slow on a Zion Spartan. Coast forced to back away, and CLG still trying to take the advantage. 16.5 minutes in, 2,000 gold lead, about to be 3,000 off the Dragon pickup. Very immaculate play so far by CLG.
Yeah, this is the CLG that was on the winning streak before their TSM game yesterday. Even though they played conservatively in the lanes, they are making the proper moves now, controlling objectives, and really just playing smart.
Absolutely. Link just still the wave push shifter. Didn't get pushed down by his lack of blue buff last time around. He's still 0-0-0, holding up the minions as well. But Link's had more to do in fights. The 4-0 game. Nintendo on the side doesn't find anything to do. So Ko's just, I mean, they're just getting pushed back and back. Zion at least survived the attempted ganks, and he's winning his lane, but that's the only lane that's really putting an impact on the map. Unfortunately for the rest of Coast, they've not found much to do. And so now comes the rotation from Link. Oh!
Yeah.
He found it.
Come back to that one.
Good charm. Solar Flare going to get dodged away. Shifter trading ultis again. Nothing for nothing.
What's the point in the game where Eve is doing a whole bunch of damage, though? Eve doesn't scale super well damage-wise because of the split damage ratios on the Q and the E being different from physical and magic, but that with the Lizard Elder and just kind of tank items, this is the point of the game with the base damages that Eve is still remarkably potent. You could see that taking Shifter to half health really easily.
Yeah, great damage coming out. Honestly, it's the big spike. Level 13, the last one he's going to receive, then his damage stops going up with skill rank.
Yep.
You got to keep that one in mind. Dexter walking by some wards that don't see him on the side of Wiz Fusion. Knows he's there.
Oh, nice positioning
Doublelift, there's the jump on in. Wiz Fusion not in a good spot, trying to run away. He's going to go down rather quickly. Doublelift making the team go fast. Another kill for CLG, 5-0.
And since CLG has taken control of the jungle of Coast, even when they can put pink wards down, they're not long for this world because Dexter will catch them on his adventures through the jungle, pushing all across the map right now. Actually going for an inhibitor turret, which once Coast peels for that, will expose the mid turret.
There we go. Look at the damage coming through. Doublelift easily able to kill the minions off. Nintendo looking to the side. Daydreamin around. Yeah, they're not going to go for the spell shielding Sivir. He backs off safely. Coast still just trying to stop the bleeding there. They haven't managed to make any actual moves themselves.
Yeah, and if they don't do something slick soon, they will have that 0-4 Super Week, which would be a huge disappointment. And team composition-wise, they don't have too much that can actually make a play. Outside of Daydreamin landing a very clutch binding, or Shifter a very clutch charm, all of the movement speed advantage and the decisions to actually fight or not are in the hands of CLG. They are just faster and more capable of initiating.
See if they can keep it going. 5-0, 4,000 gold. Still the team that looks for the fights, and they find them. They find the little picks. One guy overextended, maybe a team not near the dragon in time, anything like that, and CLG have taken advantages. A bit slower than our TSM game, to be fair, but I think Coast also getting less openings for plays, so CLG just taking what's available to them.
Yeah.
And chasing after it. The Stampede going through. Zion, I believe this is the second time he's grabbed red buff. I saw him recall with his camp a little while ago. I feel like Zion's just been able to take this buff, try to keep bullying his lane. But CLG making a rotation top. They're going to have Doublelift there.
They're putting Sivir in all the lanes that they want the turret to go down in. So they're going to shove this in very quickly and maybe try and get some of the last damage on the turret. They're also stacking up the wave as large as possible so they have more time on this one. That'll be top turret for CLG.
And just a quick recall for Zion. Realizes he can't defend this one. And just the back out Coast. They're looking a little bit like Curse when CLG took Curse down without any kills.
Yeah.
They're just letting their base die. They're letting things happen. And unfortunately, outside the laning phase, no moves from Coast.
This is one of these situations where they don't have too many capabilities. Daydreamin runs in on Eve.
Gonna be the Dark finding there onto Dexter. Here comes the rest of CLG, though. The team has arrived. What can they do? Nintendo dies. 2 kills coming across. Daydreamin also gone with Fusion dropped. 3-0 in the battle. Zion Spartan's got nowhere to go. Solar Flare's gonna lock up Shifter. 4-0 now.
Here's
only
the speed.
Zion Spartan alive. The speed still coming through. He's going to be alone. The turret not going to save him for this one. Ace for CLG, 10-0.
Just the catch in the jungle by Dexter. A completely one-sided brawl here by CLG. They collapse from all angles. Wiz Fusion actually thought he had his flash down at the bottom here. It wasn't up, so they ended up killing him in the corner. The rest of CLG had complete control. Link arrived late for that fight. That's how far ahead they are. Ah, and Afro gives up the perfect game for the inhibitor. Take him off for the team.
They lost the turret. It's no longer a perfect game. Doesn't count.
It still counted. I'd say it's a flawless victory. No deaths. No deaths is a flawless. Lose a turret. If you don't lose a turret, it's a perfect game.
Okay. What if you lose a dragon?
Nah,
but everything else is 0.
I think it's still fine. Dragon's just a big minion.
I disagree.
Oh.
But that's okay.
All right.
His agreement is healthy in a casting relationship.
Why do you disagree?
Because it's a global objective. Like trading a turret for a dragon's a legit choice.
It is.
And if you went the other way, you'd be like, oh, not a perfect game.
Well, at the same time, you could even... Where does it end?
I mean, minion
What
kills are
about
an
buffs?
assumed. Oh, man! The dive on in, Doublelift, ouch! Down he goes, 2-0. Coast finally showing up in the game, 2 kills and a turret.
Yeah, completely surprising there. COD trying to counter, but they don't have many people alive right now.
I don't think even CLG would win that fight.
So with Afromu going down at the inhibitor, this meant that Coast just all 5-manned the mid lane because they had a man advantage. And CLG, because they'd have been so strong for so long, did not respect the damage of Coast. The first moment of creation for Coast gives them a little bit of power. Nintendo Deck's very clutch ultimate there. But what can they really do from here? They need to rush this dragon down before Lulu and Sivir get here. Otherwise, they will get aced again.
Not Nian, Afromu, Dexter off on the side. No Ari on the wrong side. There's a bind on a Nian. Can they go for this fight? Can they do the damage they need? They're not even going to try. Nian way too tanky.
Yeah. And Dexter's behind him.
4-man ulti. Here we go. 4 versus 3 battle. A chase down towards the turret. Daydreamin low on health. He's going to drop down. Doesn't even get the McHale's off. Could have saved his life for that one. Doesn't use it. 1-0. With Dragon alive and the mid lane turret as well for CLG.
So a bit of regrouping there by CLG. Coast was not able to press their advantage. It would have been absolutely instrumental to get that extra dragon down because they would have gotten bonus experience as well from it, knowing as they all have level disadvantages to their CLG counterparts. But just not quite strong enough.
Quickly dodges away. Doesn't want the solar flare in the
good
back.
ultimate there by Afro.
Yep. All right, Afromu got to go again for the mid lane tier 2 turret. Nintendo very low on health, locked up by Afromu. The Q comes across, Double picks up the kill. Afromu though low, can they get this one? Yes, they can. Shifter firing back. He's going to look for Link. No, the ulti coming across. Dexter charmed up. Not going to find much. 12-4 CLG though, still ahead.
And the super minions actually making a pretty big dent in the base. There goes.
Wow.
Nexus turret down.
Super duper minions, 2 of them, sharing the aura. Making Zion Spartan's life pretty difficult. He's got to get rid of Super Minion, or they keep buffing each other.
Did you know? Yes. That's why he's filling that Super Minion first. Now they're a little weaker. But Renekton is not your ideal Super Minion killer. Interestingly enough, Coast doesn't really have one yet. Super Minions are very strong. Wiz Fusion not doing too much damage yet with just the Bloodthirster
Yeah.
And the Zeal.
They're very armor heavy.
Yeah.
They have negative MR and like 70-ish armor. And like Shifter just doesn't hit them that hard. So there's the engage again.
Yeah, Aframu with no ultimate still landed a pretty good Zenith Blade. But because... What was I thinking about? I lost it.
Because of Zenith Blade, you know, damage, tons of damage, Trinity Forces.
Because Nintendo X had ulted him right as he died,
yeah,
he was able to lock down Aframu for the death.
Yes, that was good. Pressed
Got
R.
it back. Still got it.
Good job. Proud of you.
This Baron is going to be pretty key as well. CLG basically had the game completely on lockdown when they killed the inhibitor, but they got a little lazy in their execution, and now they're regrouping. So they're getting pink wards up around the Baron, and they would just have to worry about a steal, but most likely because they have so much speed, all they're waiting to do is for Coast to walk over a ward near Baron and then turn it. If Coast doesn't walk over a ward near Baron, they're just going to take the Baron and get the speed later. But this is a very turn-related Baron. CLG does not want this to be a 50-50 smite.
Down to half. Nintendo does have Q. He is around. Does not yet have Flash. It's soon, though. Black Shield would be available if they needed it. He might have charged that too early. CLG does engage up, and there's the turn. Towards Science Spartan. McHale's goes off. There's the jump in from Nian. Shifter on the back lines. In goes Nintendo to the back line. He's going to drop down 1 for 0. Nian's going to jump away pretty safely there. 5 versus 4. The chase towards Shifter. Ignite is on. Kill picked up by Aframu. 2-0. The chase still going down. Zion turned into a pretty little squirrel. Flashed over the wall. He's going to survive just barely, but Link wants one. He wants more. Can he pick down Daydreamin? Black Shield keep it alive for now. One more Q will do it. Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, the map movement distance or difference between these two teams is just too immense for Coast to make up for. As soon as they expose themselves, there is no escape from CLG chasing after them. Great execution and plan by CLG to try and finish off Coast.
Taking them all out except for WizFusion. Picks up the inhibitor as well, and CLG says they go back towards the middle of the map. Not closing it out just yet.
Yeah, Shifter even tried to dash away here. He used one of his dashes, and then they decide to go on him. He's trying to dash away, but they're just able to chase him down ridiculously. There is no fight to be had thanks to the gold disadvantage that Coast is holding. Fancy flash by Link over the top to get those last few kills as well.
Pix picked it up. Actually, Pix gets both these kills. Just presses E, they just blow up. Poof. You know, it's called help Pix, but it's really more like hurt Pix.
Well, Coast is going to need a little bit of help pretty soon.
All right, Nintendo, dude. You got a black shield, but your spell shield's gone. Flashed away. Binding's going to land. Solar Flare's going to whiff as well. He's been missing a couple of those that game.
Yeah. Aframu's got to recalibrate.
And the sun's so far away, you have to lead it for a while. Link on a ward, doesn't know it. Coast, can they set this up? Doc running over the wall. They're going to find him. Shield is on. Nintendo goes in.
Pop the ultimate, though. That's pretty key. And the Sivir ultimate, so a lot of the speed down for CLG.
Solar Flare gone as well, remember. So 2 ult CLG. Might still be too much for Coast to handle. We'll see.
Coast almost had a pretty good comeback against XTG yesterday as well.
Yeah. They held on. We'll see if the playmaking is there. 2-2-1 Death Cap, Deathfire, Grasp for Shifter. So there is some huge damage there to keep in mind. And not necessarily a gigantic tank line of CLG. It's a lot on Link giving the support to keep people alive.
Yeah. Aframu also missing a few of his initiations. Very good strategic game from CLG, but a couple mechanical errors as of late. But they're still in very clean position to finish this game off. Gold lead is still very high. They can still pull off the Baron ploy again. They just have to execute it properly. The reason they aren't continuing to do that is because, you know, with Sivir ult down and Wild Growth down on Lulu, it was a little dangerous for them to be there.
So they'll play the waiting game till the ultis do come back. 4 sweepers now for these guys. None of them paid for. Just the free versions. Free-to-play sweepers. Still pretty effective, to be honest.
Yep.
CLG Dexter off on the side, helping to kind of play his role as a ward. Nicely done. Zion Spartan gets spotted. Aframu and Link are there, but remember that Baron is still being attacked right there. Doublelift and Nian putting in some good damage, trading tank rolls there, down to 1/4. Nintendo puts the ward in. He knows about this Q. He's going to try to go over the wall. Black Shield comes in, jumps in for Doublelift. Now, can they get the Baron steal? It's getting lower. No, he's going to drop down rather quickly. Zion Spartan can't get it. Smite picks it up for Dexter. CLG going to pick up 2 kills and Baron the chase. Still going down. Daydreamin low, getting chased by Nian on the top side. Gets stunned, gets rooted. Daydreamin is running away. 3 members of Coast alive, but 5 with Baron for CLG.
Yeah, and WizFusion, how long can he run?
He dodged the first Q.
That's fast Leona.
Back. She's hasty. There's the binding. There's the damage. Down he goes.
3 down and the Baron buff, plus some super minions on the Nexus turrets. This is going to be quick.
pretty much going to be game. 30 minutes in, CLG stopping to kill the inhibitor, because why the heck not? 50 extra gold for whoever kills it. It's going to be the minions in this case, now in towards the turret. Link going to be fighting up against Shifter. Shifter loses that battle. Daydreamin trying to help out the team. Nintendo now under fire. Kill picked up again for Doublelift. 7-1 and 8 on his Sivir, and now for the Nexus. Minions dying down, increasing the scores. Why the heck not? Down goes the Nexus, 29-45 into the game.
Doublelift with 7 kills on Sivir, helping the team out with team speed, but also getting his kills. So he had his cake, and he ate it too. Very good work by the whole CLG team. Bouncing back after their defeat yesterday, 20 kills to only 4 deaths. They're on pace for that flawless victory, as I would like to call it. But they made a few mistakes down the end. Still a solid victory.
Still very, very solid by these guys. 2-1 now on the week. Smiles in their faces. Ian had a rough lane, but honestly, that didn't go too far. The rest of his team stepping up, doing a great job all around the map. And Coast, coming into this game, 5-1 in their last 6 games.
Coming into the week.
Coming into the week, sorry.
And then going 0-4 in Super Week.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge disappointments for them. And you could see they were tilting a little bit in that game. Even Nintendo Dex, after he got soloed at Dragon, just buried his face in his hands at the end of that, because he looked really stressed out after that had happened.
Yeah.
And that's not a good mindset to be in when you have to play this really careful game against a CLG composition who was just faster.
Yeah. Any mispositioning CLG could capitalize on. Said, you know what, Coast, we think someone's going to step up a little bit too far. We'll have the ward control. We've got an Evelyn, things like that that'll catch you out. We'll just go. We'll catch you.
Yeah.
CLG did that many times.
I feel like when CLG can get Sivir and Lulu on the same team,
yeah,
you're going to be in for a lot of trouble. They have a very good understanding now of where to move around the map. And since they can just do it faster than the other team, they really, really exploit that just over and over again. That was almost every move that CLG made.
Absolutely.
Was just a guy on Coast wandering in an area that would otherwise be safe if they weren't against Lulu and Sivir.
And think about it, the bans for Coast, Rise, LeBlanc, and Kha'Zix. So, I mean, yes, they all move around. Yes, they're all pretty fast, but they don't necessarily do the same things as the things that CLG brought out here, the heavy movement speed, the buffs, getting the team in there. So CLG went for that lineup, and it worked incredibly well for them. I like CLG right in this one. So we got to take a broadcaster cooldown, but when we come back, Nien and Dexter will join us to talk about their big win. Then in our next match, it's Kiwi Kid and Dignitas versus Bunny, Fufu, and Curse. Stay tuned.
We can do this. Blink, blue comes. Are you coming?
I'm pushing out mid.
Coming. I'm almost there. Black shield's on.
Coming.
Almost there. Stunning Nintendo.
Got him.
He's dead.
Go for Wiz. Go for Ari. Ari. I'm on. Ari.
I'm on Ari. GG. I'm gonna dive. I'm gonna dive.
You're tanking?
Tank. I have Ignite for this guy. Here comes. Ignite.
Spitting you out. Guys, I'm on.
Can we Baron?
Guys.
No. Go to tier 3. Tier 3.